Advance is lying to you.
Friends and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe.
But now you start to see, yes, the people never happy. It's never enough.
I cannot believe you, Lieutenant.
Are you saying that Advance have cured death?
Jog off!
We're still vassals, slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
Oh, Megan. We're only getting started.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
Daddy, it's starting!
To every single one of you's a bit Jesus.
What a wild ride this has been.
Well, that's a very blunt question.
What? You're fired.
What for? Facial sabotage?
Jenny? Problem? I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons. Of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Bosun.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week.
Returns with a new season
Jenny.
of Incisors, and his very first guest is popular parrot Hamilton.
Sorry, Kath, you're gonna have to leave.
At 11:30, it's a double bill for popular transatlantic comedy That Nun's.
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded
10
me.
seconds,
I thought we were
everybody.
part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that.
This evening's entertainment.
Stop being so
Going in
high and mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
Do I have more
Hand
fight?
over to
3.
Jeremy,
Temp.
Megan, and all the team at the National Night.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public, how should we react?
What are your reaction to the sanctions? What are your reaction to the
fucking
sanctions?
outrageous. My mind needs insulin. I'm supposed to get a transition. What's the government doing about it? What's the government doing about it?
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff. Thanks, Patrick.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you. Thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out. Robin Short found out.
Hi there, Robin Short, National Nightly News. I was wondering if I could get your thoughts on the current government.
I'm not really very interested in politics, really. As Mother always said, leave politics to the politicians, Malcolm.
A Flard day's night. Following the release of the Floodmaster 5000, production of Floods are at an all-time high, requiring the new manufacturing facility in Grizzleford to move to 24-hour-a-day production.
With people finding more and more uses for the ever-versatile Flood, the team at Remington Cyst certainly have their hands full keeping up with demand.
So, is there anything better than a handful of Floods? We asked Patrick to... find out. Patrick to find out.
Could I ask you for your opinion of Floods? Could I ask you for your opinion of Floods? Floods.
What are they?
Floods. You know, Floods, like the, you know, well, Floods, you know, everyone knows what Floods are. Floods. Floods, you know, everyone knows what Floods are.
Don't care.
Oh.
Is it some sort of code?
Are you okay?
Is it some sort of code?
A momentary lapse of reason. Commuters across the capital found themselves somewhat bemused by the latest stunt by controversial protest group Disrupt.
In a baffling start to the day, commuters found performers outside every major station, all dressed and posed identically. Whether we're supposed to be amused or intimidated is anybody's guess, Jeremy, but most commuters didn't even stop to notice.
Well, as long as it's not some grand contemporary dance, it's probably harmless.
But how do we all feel about Disrupt and their eclectic tactics? Robin? Found out.
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Oh, well, now you're talking. Ruddy heroes, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Well, Iris doesn't speak on mine, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love? Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the yoinks for our freedom. And what can possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help?
Build that wall. Divided doctors David Wong and Ingrid Sforsborg and Ravensford today sent an intriguing blueprint to the surface for a simple solution to their increasingly isolationist communities.
In an accompanying statement, the pair reported that the current system of a dotted line painted on the floor has proven unreliable, especially after a few drinks.
But how should we feel about sending construction materials to this disparate community? Patrick Bannon again.
So, do you think we should help with this whole wall thing?
Absolutely. After all, we do all get on with our neighbours. But I am still glad that I have a high fence so I can play with Mr. Barrington in privacy.
Is that your boyfriend?
My vagina.
Is that your boyfriend?
My vagina.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team Membership Cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, vitally, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team? Membership cards about the new
team membership cards.
I don't really join things as a rule. As Mother always said, membership is mostly for unmentionables, Malcolm.
And finally tonight, getting stuck in a shameless attempt to cash in on his bad boy status, shamed celebrity Johnny Hamsleeves announced a new line of real ale at a press conference earlier today.
The new brew, entitled Headbutt Ale in reference to his controversies of last year, promises a night you'll pretend you regret.
Or possibly a night you'll pretend you remember.
So what should we all think of Johnny's latest attempt to market his notoriety? Patrick?
Oh my god, fantastic! Oh my god!
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. Tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight, we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lamfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard of labour camp who wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay. Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Advance is like man who think he have big career in movies land, when actually he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at mirror and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, then. We have like some of the cleanest mental health care facilities in the continent,
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here.
Minister?
It's just Björk,
Minister? Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of Advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fight.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole like boat thing yet, but it's actually the Festival of Fureland here at the moment, where we honor the old generations. So like we all had to work our grandparents' Galicia whilst the boat was happening, and that's like a really, really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You had this expression, sissy man. It's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah.
Oh,
Because
stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
You're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. They can join others on my wall.
actually, in Svenland, we have like serious animal welfare legislation. And like my friend Helge, she got arrested for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her field thing. I mean, in English, jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. You're a right cracker too. I wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
Human interest, Jeremy, the real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching Jan, give us a call. If you're watching Jan, yeah. Let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vent. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Finland, we don't really go in for all that restrictive monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
Possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Bjerg?
Well, from here, you all look a bit stupid, really, arguing about outdated devices concepts like money. In Finland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Votovic.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant mutant hairy bear. And really, he's just standing in field
holding his tiny penis. Yes, thank you, Minister. And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words there.
We'll be back.
After these messages.
We'll be back.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for me.
She's out of your league, mate.
It makes other countries uncomfortable, but that
have to be
won't
more
stop
careful.
us.
It's
And
all
we
part of his
intend to make
long-term
sure
plan
that
to
in
get
these
fired live on the
challenging
news at
times,
6 in front of
every
me.
citizen gets
Someone
their
warned him
fair
it's going a
share
little too well.
of the abundant, nutritious food we grow right here in the territory.
This is important. New government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
And no one will be left behind. So you can carry on coming together to enjoy life and make wonderful
Are you
memories.
still meant to bow?
Because we've shown our
From
international
royalty?
friends what's
What?
possible when we
Should I
all
just let
pool
you
our
go?
resources and
Hang on.
come
Have
together
they
in a
given you the
sense of
Crown
team
Prince report?
spirit. So don't
Well,
worry about
Megan?
what the rest of the world thinks. Save your concern for those around you, your family, friends,
thanks for having me on your
and
show, man.
neighbours,
It's
and
quite
have
alright.
confidence that the team will keep you safe from all the rest.
He put that get up on himself.
Advance.
I'm just saying.
Let's keep on setting a shining example
5,
together.
4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honour to be here on this show, the news. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I'd try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it. But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died, died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I I try not to talk about it. It's just I try not to talk about it. It's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know? Why do I have to pay for it, you know?
People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
Or
like...
maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Lovelow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it?
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel elation for your participation. Still 2 leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julie Ezra require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Get every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the press, of the wave. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clement's motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snub ones, the pushed and the shoved ones, the folks that feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding out their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, of the press, of the ways. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clement's motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets. Set a fire in the building, let him feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, you're squilling betters and burn them on the powers of advances fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clement's motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to storm the castle with the motherfucking pitchfork. Jace, that's me, you don't need the fucking team. And advances, little dancers aren't as harmless as it seems. Cause they're stale and corrupt, then you're angry and revolt. Bend your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ad.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR. And no tape. Past that break.
Oh, stop it. My father's going to hear about this.
I understand.
Some garden furniture, patio furniture with some garden furniture.
This is unbelievable, Megan.
Garden next to the patio. We've got garden furniture that looks like a cello. Garden furniture that looks like a car. Garden furniture that looks like garden furniture. Come on down for a crazy midsummer deal. We've got all sorts of stuff in the garden. We got fish. We got flowers. We've got dishes. We've got sacks. We've got garden plants. We've got garden ponds. We've got fronds. If you want an elephant, you can take it away in a wheelbarrow. You want it, we've got it. We've got bird baths. We've got duck ponds. We've got fire pits. We've got a whole mess of crazy fronds.
Look at him.
We can just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
No, home from home. We got more than 7 now. Because we've got men with trust arms. We've got reclining giants. We've got crazy garden
Back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
You got a loved one and you want to bury in your
exciting, isn't
Come
it?
down a crazy deal. Because we've got a head start for you. And guess what? It's 50% off engraving. I got it making a profit. Making it last. Get on out to the crazy Neil Summer Deal Show.
4, 3.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Ray, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris, Jesus, that was hard.
It's catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Wow. Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show, then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Oh, good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Yes. Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
Yep. We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred pass!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Yeah.
Which, frankly, would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, and you do this every night?
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable, Megan.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Hi, I'm Sophia Rimington, CEO of Rimington's Fist, and I'm so excited to be able to tell you about our newest product. Everybody loves bars. After all, from holding your house up to keeping your bills down, there really seems to be no limit to
We'll be going live to the newsroom. But before that, let's take a quick peek at tonight's lineup.
Peter Clement and an off-risers here.
Hey, we're working on it.
What, you've got someone to hose down the sun, have you?
Yes.
For a special heatwave edition.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
That's followed at 7:30 by a double bill of
She's not even
movies.
here.
As
Yes,
we
but
show
he is.
Alabama
Our
Jones
gun-toting
and the
handler.
Last of the
Who,
Nazis,
Andy?
followed by
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe
Alabama
from people like
Jones
disrupt.
More like keep us in line. I hate guns.
At 9:15.
Give me the willies.
Dr. Adrian
10 seconds, everybody.
So we've got any actual real news tonight?
Well, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going in 5, 4, 3.
Let's go over to Jeremy Donaldson for the National Night.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
Ever since these illegal sanctions were imposed, we have gratefully relied upon trade and aid from our worldwide friends who, like us, refuse to recognise their legitimacy. Today's escalation, however, is nothing short of an act of war. We call upon our international allies to condemn this blockade absolutely, and we warn aggressors to this country that we are neither meek nor defenceless. Thank you.
Top beer. As his new line of ales goes from strength to strength, Johnny Handsleeves seems to be really capitalising on his success. The former footballer turned entrepreneur seems to be as comfortable in the boardroom as he ever did on the pitch, as Headbutt Ale smashes projected sales figures yet again. To celebrate the achievement, Johnny treated himself to a 24-carat gold toilet he calls Golden Johnny's Golden John. Worth more than the GDP of some nations, the gaudy monstrosity is just as impractical as it is garish, as within hours of getting it home, Johnny slipped off the solid gold seat and cracked 2 ribs on the diamond bathtub. In it to win it. Exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Flard-hearted, a shocking inspection of Remington Smith's new Flard factory has revealed health concerns that could leave the groundbreaking facility's future in doubt. After the public's lukewarm response to the industrial plant, the troubling report that found a possible long-term risk to shop floor workers could be the final nail in the coffin. CEO Sophia Remington, however, was optimistic that her employees would remain loyal. And judging by these pictures, she may be right, as workers seem to be ignoring the warnings and returning to work. It looks like it's business as usual in Grizzleford. Perhaps the reports are unfounded, or perhaps, like Shark Ballet, Flards are just simply worth the risk. Locked up tight, with relations between Doctors Wong and Swarsborg and Horgensford deteriorating at an ever-increasing pace, the plans for their high-tech wall were revealed today. The bitter rivalry between the two intellectuals has become an impassioned race to determine whose design would proceed to construction. The public's positive reaction to their plan has meant no expense will be spared in building the gratuitous barricade. Always the long-term thinker, Ingrid says her unorthodox solution combines her technical expertise and her love for unnecessarily long words. While the design of the Swarsborg and Horgans wall seems effective, the origins of its name remain a mystery. Life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protest, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers. Advance have yet to comment. As grassroots support for the movement grows rapidly, especially in those areas Advance have not yet been able to fully regenerate, people across the country are starting to fear a return to the bad old days of inequality, division, and multiple television shows about buying houses. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship, and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News. But first tonight, our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner of the country to see how the people of this great nation of ours are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolf in Shining-on-Sea to see what the scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns at the University of Princeford. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Blimey, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Remington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say, complimentary personal anecdote. Oh, here we go. And, as expected, everything is absolutely fucked. Hang on. This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I think.
Yeah? We need to evolve gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
Here it just says, shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. Can't go around looking like that.
Shit.
There you go, much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this.
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is running out.
It's running out. Absolutely right. That is all we have time for.
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all!
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof be need be, that everything is just fine. I'm Megan Wolf, here with science. Back to you.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, let's over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's Team Membership Lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won dinner with Julia Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
And I've been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the gutter in.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
So, can you tell me about the moment when you first heard the news?
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floater, probably one of the sixth formers, when the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
So you were both polishing turds?
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh. How unexpected.
I don't polish turds. I write poetry.
Potato, potato. So, Gary...
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his downpipe?
There's no harm in asking, I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Oh. Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming. It's inspiration, and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show, there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Yeah, this big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous, really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
If it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at old Blue Eyes here.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which has recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this heat, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you. You can tell that, look at him, proud as punch. Do you know what it's like, son, being the second smelliest town? No, I don't. Living in the shadow of Arseminster. Those smug fucks. But who's laughing now, eh?
Well, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Remington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built flour factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does the stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
So, what's the sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the water main, but I think it's probably a few valves on the high street.
On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a loss of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next according is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
That's not really a problem, it was sung in my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion.
Don't forget about that pesky power button on the fan.
I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon. Feel the Bannon. Oh, man.
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Nana Dottie? Was that you? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
Oh, Don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Barry. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak, when we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
This next section features a potentially controversial guest. Advance may request some censorship if he goes too off-topic. You've done a great job so far keeping everyone happy, so let's keep up the good work.
And I can't do this.
No, we've got dingoes, we've got ringos. Give me the flamingo, guys. I know the prices are mental. If you're boiling hot and you're thinking, I need to get cool, I need to get down to Neil's because we've got the aircon on. We're serving up ice creams to all the customers, but our prices are dropping faster than a kid with a cold. It's on the floor. Yes, they're dropping every day. We've got crazy artificial paddling poles, ornamental paddling poles, big poles, little poles, anti-ground catching nets. Well, I don't care what you think. I'm going to drop them even further. We got rubber rings for pets. We got rubber rings for you. We got rubber rings for them. We got rubber rings for her. Are you the managing director? No. We got everything from pina coladas, lifeboat starters, ladies on dials. We got men in silos. If your favorite hobby is ice sculpting, but the outside is boiling, we can let you sculpt dragons. We can let you sculpt flagons. We can let you sculpt icebergs. Whatever the temperature is doing, we got a fan. You don't care.
Over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you stop feeling sorry for yourself for 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the Territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. So I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Is that?
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. At work, they've asked me to stop answering the phones. It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
Do people tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me, and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society. It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come down, Mr. Donaldson. That's absolute rubbish.
What it'd be like to have a pair of tits.
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very odd. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet?
No.
Or a sellout cunt?
Apologies. Just a reminder that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
But it was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No, I didn't say...
Wow, we may have to end that there, unfortunately. What a harmless bit of fun.
Steady on! This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect!
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin. And Ginger Tabby with a world-class pair of penalty balls. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go! Not you!
Hand him at once!
Enough! That's enough! Enough!
What are you doing?
Try not to piss myself.
Alex,
Don't you dare!
Alex,
Don't you fucking dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. You in the broadcast centre. Bonesman's Little Scapegoat. You listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in this studio. I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. Christ, it's so fucking hot in here. Do you remember when we used to do the real news? Before it was all lottery winners and bloody cat football? We are on the brink of a siege the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots.
I think my hiccups have stopped. I think my hiccups have stopped.
You three. Get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go! Before I change my mind. Now, go! Before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Jenny, lock the doors.
Yes,
Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Good. Yes. Now. Good. Right. Yes. You in the broadcast centre. You in the broadcast centre. You listen to me. Alex. You pay attention. Listen to me. Now, I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but today's going to be a little bit different. Look to your right. Yes, really. Look to your right. There is a VHS tape, and I want you to load it into one of your machines. And when I say so, and not before, you play it. And not before, you've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, four cameras.
I assume you won't be playing that tape. This station does not negotiate with terrorists. I hope I've made myself clear. You seem to know what to do.
Every single thing that comes out of this studio is either one-sided or banal. We're going to show the other side for a bit of fucking balance. Like the good old days. Alex, play the fucking tape. If I see anything I don't like, I will not hesitate to start.
Alex, you're going to get me in trouble with that. Let's hope you made the right call.
Reset the system for the third segment.
You've seen us
I imagine the ratings are going to be through the roof.
You've heard them talk about us on the news. We are Disrupt. We are the Resistance. It's time you knew the truth. You know Advance are lying to you. You know the elderly are not a burden. You know the rich were not all evil. And you know the team membership card is an ID card, no matter what they try to tell you. But why should you trust us? Another faceless organization. A shadowy figure with a distorted voice. You've seen it so many times in the movies. Well, this is not a movie.
My name is Alan James. I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming for our freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labours. They will take our wealth. They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns. But you don't have to accept it. A great many people already won't. You can resist. You can disrupt. Find us. Talk with us. Join us.
What now?
It isn't hard.
I don't know.
We're everywhere.
This wasn't what I planned. I mean, some of it was. I had a speech, look. But this was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off.
God, please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long? How long, Jenny?
You're already live.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Joining me, unexpectedly, for I very much imagine will be my last broadcast, are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News and is someone I consider, well, a friend. And next to her is, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official.
Officer.
Sorry?
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that feel, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's good. it's not about confrontation anymore. You know, the force had its fair share of problems. The The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
I couldn't say.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Christ, you're fucking useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
I don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
That's perfectly understandable. You'd want to do this. Jenny, why did you join the National Nightly News team?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? The National Nightly News.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
Is. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
Well, there is the great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
I saw your face when that thing came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No. I didn't know. The people I met were with... He wasn't there.
God,
I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry. But seriously, Alan fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet for... God, I love you, Jeremy, but...
He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country.
That right?
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you at home, you know it too. Meanwhile, I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, but what a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at Grantham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these? Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. You read these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
What? I don't understand.
Do you want my help,
Yes,
Andy?
yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
What?
Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it. Eat it, you fucking bully.
Jeremy, stop. We will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that. Don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can put the card down now. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. You too, Jenny. Fuck over there. When you're nearly done. When you're nearly done. All cameras on me. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway, that's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast in the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him, but I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's all so fucking pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried it. I loved the news. And now, well...
Oh, God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but this just isn't the news anymore. And I'm sorry.
The ads.
I've lost this fight.
Alex, think of the consequences.
Our society has never been fairer. From the food that we eat to the education, transition and...
Well, in less than a minute, we'll be going live to the newsroom. But before that, let's take a quick peek at tonight's scorching lineup. At 6:30, Megan Wolfe is at the beach, chatting with members of the general public for a special heatwave edition of Your Part of Town.
I loved the news. And now, well...
God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but This just isn't the news anymore. I'm sorry.
The ads.
I've lost this fight.
Well, in less than a minute, we'll be going live to the newsroom. But before that, let's take a quick peek at tonight's scorching lineup. At 6:30, Megan Wolf is at the beach, chatting with members of the general public for a special heatwave edition of Your Part of Town.
Please, we can't show this. Cut to the ads.
My name's Jeremy
Now!
Donaldson.
Do it now!
If you can, somehow. And I envy you if you can. Have a peaceful night.
Jeremy!
Our society has never been fairer. From the food that we eat to the education, transition and community cohesion.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main